Hello, everyone. We're live. Welcome back to Claret and Booze. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I don't know why it's all fucking green. It ain't green in here. Um, John's having internet connections tonight, so we might see John sort of dropping on and off. It was my turn last week, but hopefully we'll be all right. Like I said, this is a Claret and Booze Up show. We're here to recap on the Frankfurt game yesterday that we all went to. We're going to go through the player ratings as well, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look ahead to the exciting time next week now, which is shit or bust now, isn't it? You know,
yeah,
it is what it is. You know, would have been nice to have taken a lead to Frankfurt, but at the same time, I've been thinking about it. I mean, everyone, you know, well, not everyone. The two people on this channel know how I reacted yesterday. It wasn't very good. I did have a little tantrum, but I'm over it now. I'm over it. It was more to do with the fact that David Moyes bloody set up with a back three, and I did because we was at the game. I turned to my son the minute I was excited because Zuma was starting, really excited. I was buzzing, and then the minute I saw a shape up, I turned to my boy and I said, do you know what? We're in for a long night, because you could see straight away what the shape was, and then 30 seconds later they've gone and bloody scored, haven't they? But look, it's hindsight. I do think it wasn't purely down to the formation. I think that was just players switching off and stuff like that. I think they caught us cold, didn't they? You know, they was quick out the blocks and they caught us cold. But yeah, so we'll get into the game. But we're going to do the player ratings, then we're going to look ahead to Frankfurt, and then we're going to look ahead to the Arsenal game as well. So first of all, Gary, how are you? Have you recovered?
I'm all right. I'll tell you what. Today I've been completely knackered. I think nervous. I think nervous energy yesterday, because I was thinking about that game from the time I woke up to, you know, and we went out and we had a few drinks, and from the time all the way to the time I got home, and I think I experienced every emotion yesterday. And so today, yeah, up until this show, I felt absolutely shattered. Got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I know. I know you feel. John, how about you, mate? I know you've had a long day, ain't you?
Yeah, mate. A bit like Gary, I feel a bit like deflated, not because of the result, just like physically, just like flat today. But you know me, in terms of the result, forever the optimist. I mean, to be honest with you, your WhatsApp messages tired me out, to be honest with you.
There was a lot of them, wasn't there, John?
I was fuming today. I was really angry this morning. Well, I was angry last night.
Look,
and like I say, it's not losing. It's just you know, because you know, looking back at it as well, I don't think that we played as bad as what I initially thought we did. You know, because I've actually watched the game back, and we did create some good chances. I think I was so frustrated with the way that we set up and the way that we conceded so quickly, and also as well because, you know, you took your boy over there, I took Ben over there, built it all up, and when that goal went in, that fucking killed the atmosphere, didn't it? It killed it stone dead. It, you know, sort of stopped it in its tracks, really. You know,
it did, but we shouldn't be surprised, because they scored a very early goal, albeit for a dubious penalty in Barcelona. So they do seem to want to come flying out the traps, and I just think that the you know, the old adage, score an early goal, get the fan base quiet, it worked to some degree. Because you could feel the nervous. It was nervous energy before the game, but then as soon as that goal went in, the nerves just like, you know, like a domino effect around the stadium. You know.
It was really weird. I mean, I've seen some arguments between fans on Twitter today and stuff like that, and there was a couple of guys, elderly guys, that sort of went, and they said they regretted going because people were standing for the whole game. Now, I noticed that as well. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with that, because obviously standing is fine, but it was weird though, because people were standing but they were making no noise. Now, if standing equates to a good atmosphere and stuff like that, then that's fine. But it was like everyone stood for 90 minutes with their hands in their pockets. It was a fucking bizarre atmosphere, and it was a bit odd over there yesterday, John, wasn't it? Didn't you think that?
Yeah, I mean that's happened throughout all the European games. I've noticed people seem to be standing more. I don't know what that's about. Again, you know, my boy's only 11, so it does sometimes affect him. But you know, I'll just tell him to stand on his own seat, and he's all right then. I don't sort of stand there complaining. I'm not that sort of person. But it's a bit of a strange phenomenon where that's come from. As I said, I haven't got a problem with it, but it has caused some heated debate.
Yeah, is that people standing up in the upper tiers as well then?
Oh, honestly, all around us. I mean, I was sort of up in the gods, and And yeah, it was.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? That's a bit weird because
it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird.
I've never really seen that. I mean, you go back to Upton Park, you used to get everyone standing in the Bobby Moore. You used to get everyone standing in the sort of left-hand side of the Dr. Martin stand, around to the corner there, and everything else, nutty corner, right?
Yeah.
And other than that, I think you used to get some. I don't think you even got people in the end standing up in the chicken run over there. It was just those two ends. Upper tier never stood up. So this is like a new phenomenon where the upper tier decides to stand up.
It's odd, and like I say, you expect it. If it's a lively game and it's an atmosphere as a result of it, people are on their feet and they're cheering and stuff like that. That's great. That adds to it. But if you just kind of standing there, like I say, there was people in and around me. I mean, look, I like to stand personally when I'm watching the game. I don't sit down anyway, but I would sit down. However, if I had kids or sort of elderly people behind me, I would be courteous, to be honest.
Yeah, and we never stood up. All those, I mean, the years we had season tickets in the upper tier at the London Stadium, we never stood up, did we? We sat down. And
you get up when something happens.
That generally seems to be the way in the upper tiers. You know, that's many reasons. Quite often, that's why people sit in the upper tiers, because they can sit down, because they know they're going to get a little bit of obstruction downstairs. That's a bit weird. I also found the atmosphere last night. I found it, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was a little bit toxic, and I had this.
There was fights around me.
I think that the young kids. We've mentioned this before. You tend to get a lot of young kids in these cup games, and by young kids, I mean young to me, right? 25-ish, and there were quite a few, and there were a couple stood behind us, and honestly, they were. I mean, they were CUNT all the way through. Immediately after that goal, that first goal went in, literally their language, they were slagging everybody off.
Yeah.
In fact, the only one that didn't slag off was Ben Rama.
Yeah, bizarre. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But well, like I say, we'll get onto them after. But yeah, it was a bit strange. I mean, I had my own frustrations. I won't go into it. But there were mini scuffles around me as well. It was just it's really weird. You don't normally see that, do you? So it's
no.
I don't know. Maybe it's because on the European games, like I say, and they don't need to do this, because if they were just to sell, if they weren't to allow season ticket holders to buy 8 fucking tickets, then everyone would end up back in their seats. It would be like a league game, and then whatever's left over, then you put on general sale. They would all sell. I don't see why they've had to take this route, and then you've got familiarity. It's like a league game, so you're sitting around the people that you know, and that's only going to help the atmosphere. So I don't understand their tactics in the way that they've sold tickets for the Europa League. It's almost like they was worried they weren't going to shift them. I mean, it was a bit odd. But anyway, look, let's get into the game. Well, first of all, the starting lineup, Gary, you called it, didn't you? You called Kurt Zouma to be available.
I did. I'm an unofficial ITK now, because that was my Tuesday news show where I released exclusively that Kurt Zouma would play. I mean, look, that was just based on clues. It wasn't based on anything hard and fast coming out.
It was a hunch, wasn't it? Really?
It was, and it was a good hunch. I'll have to trust my instincts in future.
It was a calculated hunch. I think you took comments that people had made, and
and what was coming out of the club? I mean, there were just no denials coming out of the club, and it just seemed strange. I mean, I expect Diop to come back soon as well. I mean, he's looking. It's another one that they're refusing to comment on, but they say he's doing well.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, like I say, providing we got Zouma, I mean, he definitely wasn't fit yesterday. You could see that, couldn't you? You could see Zouma wasn't sharp. I suppose he weren't going to be, but it's definite mind games, though, isn't it? Because they had the open training session, didn't they, the day before the game, and Zouma wasn't there. Well, he was there, but he didn't train. So it's done on purpose. They do this stuff on purpose, don't they?
He's been training with the first team since Monday, so they've definitely been doing it on purpose.
Yeah. But, John, are you still there, mate, or are you just turn your video off?
I think he's struggling. He's struggling with his internet tonight. Poor John. So
okay. I'll go to you, Gary. Anyway, so obviously we know what the lineup was. We won't go through it. Everyone watched it. Every West Ham fan watched that game yesterday.
Yeah.
What happened on 50 seconds? I'll tell you what I can do. I've just cut some clips. Let me just share my screen a minute.
Let me just say, there's a comment here from Ballon Dawson that I agree with. I do think too many fans turn up and expect an atmosphere to just happen.
Absolutely,
that is bang on. That is bang
absolutely.
on.
Yeah,
we've got to kind of contribute to the event as well. We can't just stand there and expect to be entertained. All right, to a large extent you can, but especially when you go 1-0 down in the semi-final of the European competition, I know, for instance, the crowd were quite noisy for a little while after that. There was a delay. It went dead quiet, and there was about a minute, and then it got a bit noisier. But then it turned all a bit sour and toxic after that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, look, let's get on to the first goal. This is obviously where it went wrong. This is kind of, look, it was sleep. We fell asleep, but this is kind of the entire reason why I don't like a back three. Look how players have been pulled out of position. You look, Zuma's kind of coming over to the left. You got Johnson. Look where Dawson is. Cresswell's going to end up as a centre back. Look at their positioning.
If you go back to that previous shot, a minute.
Yeah.
Right. That was where the guy's about to slip the ball through the two defenders. Right. He's about to slip it through there, and we keep falling foul of that all the time in recent games. Like I'm talking the last 5 or 6 games, that ball between the furthest left defender and the next one,
between the lines,
between the lines, with a back four, it's between the fullback and the centre back. That is a ball that's played repeatedly, and it catches us out every time. And the guy's obviously done his homework there, coach, because it was the first thing they did in the game. Oh, no. And it caught us stone cold. And Fornals, roll it forward.
Sorry, 1 minute. So, as you can see, Fornals fell asleep. He did fall asleep. He didn't track the runner, first of all. As you can see, Cresswell's ended up centre of the goal. Zuma, Dawson are in no man's land. The ball's floated, a nice ball floated over from Boré. But look, Fornals has made a mistake there. He ain't tracked his runner. But in what planet should Fornals end up marking a runner there? Where's? I mean, that should never happen.
Fornals is completely. What can I say? He's completely stopped doing his job there, hasn't he? A dereliction of duty. That's the term I'm looking for.
No, but Gary, what I'm saying is, you're saying he stopped doing his job. This is a problem when you put square pegs in round holes. It's like putting a defender up front. This is why you don't do that, because it's not his natural position. Fornals is a responsible player.
I know that. But if a professional player is given a job to do, he should do it. And if you look at that previous shot and this one, the guy's gone from behind him to in front of him. Fornals has literally just not even seen him. He's blind. He's oblivious to the danger.
I'm not doubting that, but that's because he hasn't got defensive instincts, and that's why you don't put a player there. And that's why I'm saying, would you put Fornals at centre back, Gary?
No,
but so why should Fornals be marking someone at that part of the fucking goal after 1 minute? Why should that happen?
Well, because a lot of the time that is one of the roles that he's playing. He's getting back and defending and helping out. All right, not in a back five, but he's helping out the left back in a defensive situation. That was just slack from Fornals.
Absolutely, it was slack. But like I say, I can see why it happened though, and I think it was slack all around. I mean, look at Zuma, Dawson, and Johnson and Cresswell. Look where they are. They've all gathered. It's like kids' football. Do you know, like when they've all followed the ball?
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Right. So anyway, moving on to our first chance. Lanzini slips the ball through to Antonio. Good bit of hold-up play. He slips the ball to Souček, who does then put Bowen through on goal. Now, what was your opinion on this? I mean, I think he kind of took too long to take his shot. I think he allowed the keeper to come out and close the space down. What was your thoughts on that?
You know what? In many ways, it was the opposite of how he took the chance out in Lyon, because that chance he took really early before anyone could get anywhere near him, and he didn't give the keeper a chance to set himself. Now, I still think it was a good effort, a really good effort. Is it the post? He's only a couple of inches away from it being a goal, so it's almost there. But I think he's got to score that. And when you look at the game that we saw, Man City, the other night, that was just amazing, the way both of those sides took almost every chance that they had. All right, man, but I'll say that Man City missed a few, but it was clinical. And that's kind of what Frankfurt were like last night. You know, all right, they missed one, they had a post as well, but they were more clinical than us. We weren't clinical last night. We've got to be more clinical in the second leg.
It's a symptom. I will say that it's a symptom of us. You know, we do. You know, we weren't in Lyon. We was clinical in Lyon, but we rarely are. You know, we normally do. We need like 4 chances to score a goal, and at this level, you know, I mean, they were clinical. I mean, look, they also hit the post, and they had another chance as well. I think it was on about 36 minutes. It was another drive, that Boré, another driving run from deep.
Yeah,
and he put that, you know, the goal scorer through now, however you pronounce it. He put him through again, and he span and he put the ball over, didn't he? You know, Areola, he didn't save it. He put the ball wide. So they could have been 2-0 up. Well, no, it would have been 2-1 because obviously our goal comes first. So Lanzini whips the ball in. The only decent set piece of the night. Kurt Zouma wins it in the air, knocks it back across. Antonio stretches. And thank
exactly.
God.
And look, as simple was that goal. How simple was that goal? It just took a good delivery and a practice set piece, and it was a goal. You know, too often throughout last night, we saw in-swinging corners, for instance, and set pieces, in-swingers that went directly to the keeper. The keeper didn't have to come off his line. He just stood there and caught it.
Yeah, no, I know. It was frustrating. We were good in some respects and poor in many others, to be quite honest, yesterday.
Yeah. Let's go through, because John's not here to drive the comments. When you finish this, carry on with the slides.
Yeah, let's go through the game first, and then we'll drive through the comments.
Okay.
Let's just get this game out of the way. Obviously, Ben Rama came on, didn't he? And to be fair, he looked lively when he came on. He came on for Lanzini. He often does as a substitute. There's a lot of people now calling for him to start next week. No, I don't think he should start. He's a good. This is how you use Ben Rama.
Good substitute. He's a good substitute.
He's a good substitute. He can change the game. This is where he's useful. And this was a very, very good effort, to be quite honest. You know, he showed
it was a brilliant effort. It was a brilliant effort. None of us saw it coming. We only saw in the replay that it hit the post, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a really good effort. I mean, he does some really good things, and he does some really frustrating things. He done more right than wrong yesterday. Let me put it like that. I mean, Epic Hashtime has said best player on the pitch. I don't agree with that.
Really? You didn't see Rice's performance, Epic? No. I think what it is with Benny, Gary, I think because he is that player that gets you up off your seat, as you've alluded to in previous weeks. People love him because he's exciting. He does step overs, but do you know what? He did it again. You know, it was almost a repeat. Do you know when Dawson played that ball over the top in the previous game and he controlled it well, didn't finish it? The same happened here. Declan Rice has put the ball over. He's controlled it beautifully. This was his best chance.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done that. He's made the space. He's pulled a beautiful shot away there. But in that instance, Declan Rice has put the ball over the top. He's done one part well. You know, he's controlled the ball. He's chopped inside. He's done that well as well, and he's put the ball over. And like I say, for me, he still frustrates me. But I'm going to give him credit there. He was definitely one of the better players in that second half, and he did make a positive difference to the team.
Let me just say, right? I think the very nature of his play, Ben Rama, is that occasionally he's gonna frustrate you, right?
Yeah.
But as long as he's let me rewind to Chelsea at the weekend. What frustrated me about Ben Rama at Chelsea was he had the chance to run at a player and he didn't run at the player. He took the safe option every time, and that just pisses me off because Ben Rama's got so many tools in his toolbox to tease a defender, to run by him. You know, he can deploy all of those tools. He can mesmerize a defender and try and go around him, and that's what I want to see him do.
Well, I think in his defence, though, Gary, he's got the feet to trick his way out of a situation, but he is not got the pace to get away from anyone. He ain't a quick player. He's not.
No. But what I'm saying is that is what I want to see him do. And as long as he's trying stuff, even if that stuff doesn't come off, I'm quite happy with it. The one part where he does frustrate me is where he takes the easy option. And there was a run from Rice yesterday where he put two or three players on their ass. He's done all the hard work, Rice. He's passed it to Ben Rama, and Ben Rama has tried a ridiculous flick to nobody and just given the possession away. That's the sort of thing he kind of builds up credit.
Rice lost his temper with him.
It's like in my mind, right? In my mind, I'm thinking Ben Rama, fucking hell, he's looking good. He's going like 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10,
Yeah.
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And then Declan Rice passes that ball 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes in my mind. Maybe not everyone's the same, but that's the way
look,
it goes in my mind.
At the end of the day, like we've just said, Ben Rama, he did what he was a very effective substitute. Look, he didn't affect the game because we didn't get a goal when he came on. The score remained the same, but he did affect the game positively. He did create a little bit. So
yeah, he absolutely did. He was one of the best players on the pitch for West Ham. I will give Epic Ash time that. Yeah.
And then finally this overhead kick that I've got to be honest, I missed, and I had to watch it on highlights because I left on 90 minutes, so I missed it. But I saw a lovely floated ball in by Rice, and what a bloody effort that was!
Fucking stunning, absolutely stunning. A perfectly executed Pele style overhead kick that slammed off the underside of the crossbar. I'll tell you what, it only needed to be half an inch lower. And it comes off the crossbar and goes in the goal.
I know.
That's the difference between losing and drawing yesterday.
I know. He did work really, really hard, Bowen, yesterday. I thought he had a good game. What we do, Gal, I've got to get the player rating. We're going to do player ratings now, people, but I've got to get it set up. So, Gary, if you run through the chat and just give me a couple of minutes.
Let me do that. So, Claire, a lot of my friends with season tickets have found the atmosphere at European games really odd. Like there are a lot of not true fans there. No, I wouldn't say not true fans because I can't comment on whether they're true fans or not. But what I say is it's a different group of people, Claire. It's a different group of people, and I'm not sure I enjoy it very much.
No.
Balin Dawson says young kids with a Stone Island gear on. Yes, I've noticed a lot of Stone Island actually. I thought Fornals was very poor. Yes, he had a bad game, and we've seen that a few times. For instance, in the first leg against Lyon, the first leg against Sevilla, Fornals was poor. He put it right in the second leg. Let's hope he does it this time as well.
Yeah.
Lawrence says, I thought it was a solid lineup. Yeah, look, it was our best lineup, really. There was
best available.
Yeah. Epic Ash time better than Bowen. Yeah, also that's Bowen versus Benrahma. I wouldn't say so. But there's personal opinion, right? It's personal opinion. Bowen did it for the whole game. Benrahma did it for a fraction of the game. And that's where I think me and Nick are saying, I think we both prefer to see Benrahma coming off from the bench because he can do something different than panic defenses coming off from the bench. He tends to be quiet when he starts games. Is Gary X? How dare you, Paul? X? I'm better than him. Right. So Bowen's finishing was abysmal. Well, he hit the post and he hit the bar. He was, say, an inch away from scoring when he hit the post. He was half inch away from scoring when he hit the crossbar. Whether you can say that's abysmal finishing or just a slight miscalculation when he's hit the post, I mean, I can't really slate him for that.
I'll tell you what, if Benrahma would have pulled off that overhead kick, Epic Ash time would have been going mental.
I know. Can you imagine Twitter if
Benrahma
scored that?
There are so many Benrahma fanboys, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
Really
Robert Singleton was a good team to start. Yes, it was. Benrahma was not better than Bowen, says Lawrence. Benrahma can't finish for nothing. Cresswell is in the right centre back position. Yeah, they got pulled all over the place. It was as if the centre backs didn't know. Well, the three centre backs didn't know where they were supposed to be playing. And if you look at the second goal from Frankfurt, Zuma just completely switches off. Switches off. Mind you, so does Souček loses his man as well. So there's several people responsible for that goal.
Souček had a particularly good game. I've got
bad game. So Rob says started too much on the front foot, got caught out with a fast carrying attack. Yeah, we did, but that's their game, and that's what they do away from home, Frankfurt, and that's what we've got to. I mean, they don't tend to do it at home, but we tend to do it away as well. That's what we do. That's the way we play. So maybe next week it's going to play into our hands a little bit.
Yeah.
More drinking time doesn't help either, says Glenn. No, that's always the case, isn't it? Having said that, if people can handle their drink, I love a drink before the game. I had a lovely drink yesterday over at Hackney Wick. We watched all the Germans floating past. Was
there any trouble?
No, it was great. It was we were in the Beer Merchants Tap, which is where we go for most pre-matches, and they do good beer in there. It's what And they've got gates outside, so they shut the fences. I think we've seen it with away supporters coming past there quite a lot. I think it seemed to be thousands and thousands of them that went through because they were literally passing.
Did you see the procession?
Well,
have you not seen it on Twitter? No, it's ridiculous. It looked like there was a lot more than 3,000 of them. It's impressive, to be quite honest.
That's what I'm saying. There seemed to be much more than 3,000 that passed Hackney Wick, right? With a police escort and everything else. There were loads of them. But then when we got to the stadium, there were no Frankfurt fans hanging around or anything. So if there was more than them, I don't know where they'd gone. I don't know where they'd gone to.
I'll tell you what, we didn't touch on them. I mean, but talk about German efficiency, because obviously I think most people would have seen it on the screens anyway. But they were all kind of they were all in full colours. They all had scarves. They all had black and white flags, and they was in the upper tier and the lower tier. And I think they had a conductor. John said they had a conductor, and they were synchronized. They were synchronized. So you had that ultra sort of, the noise that Crystal Palace make, where there's no fucking words, and it's all that shit. So you got the top tier doing all that, and they're waving their flags. All of a sudden, they go Frankfurt. And that is a cue for the ones down the bottom to start doing it as well. So they stop, and it's kind of, they keep on changing over. But the only thing I will say, Germans, is when you do your bouncy up and down bit, that was all out of time. So if you're going to do choreography, fucking get it right. All right, that was all over the place.
No, Nigel.
Yeah, would be perfectly in time, wouldn't we, if we did it?
Yeah, but that was. I must admit, that's just not an English thing to do, is it? I mean, it was apart from if you're Crystal Palace, yeah, but they're odd marks anyway. Let's be fair. Yeah. But I must admit, from a distance, it looked very impressive. Now, I must admit, I probably find it more camp than intimidating. That's what I find it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they were good. They were full of spirit and everything else. But I think a whole stadium full of those fans bouncing up and down and waving their flags to order and stuff like that, I don't think that's that intimidating. I think the last stadium we played in Lyon was intimidating.
Yeah. Well, that was a hostile atmosphere.
Yeah.
That was,
and it probably will be there as well.
What's that? Sorry,
it probably will be there as well. But
yeah,
I shouldn't imagine have a stadium full of the happy jumpers, will they?
Oh, I bloody hope not.
Talking about the Frankfurt fans a little bit as well, though. They didn't cause any trouble. They walked past. They weren't really giving it any. They weren't really giving any abuse or anything. Chris Miles, who comes on here, one of our regular guests.
I saw Chris yesterday.
Yeah. He couldn't get into the beer merchant's tap because of the Germans. There was too many of them, so there was a cordon, which meant he couldn't get through. But he stays in, because he's from up north, Chris. So he stayed in Snoozebox, a little sort of hotel down in around the stadium.
That's a container. Apparently, it's like a.
It is.
That is amazing.
It looks brilliant. And what he did when he went back to Snoozebox, there were a load of Frankfurt fans there. So he chatted about all their experiences in the in the tournament so far, their trip to Barcelona. He said they were lovely. They were brilliant people. He really enjoyed it. So I don't think they didn't live up to their billing, really, did they?
Well, no, I didn't think they would. Look, they're a well-supported team. Yeah, that's basically it. Like us, we follow our team everywhere. I know we had that little scuffle in Seville, but you know what? Every club in the world has got their own little element of idiotic fans.
Totally agree.
But anyway, look, let's move on to the player ratings, Gal, and then we'll get into the comments after. Right, everyone in the chat, do you want to sort of drive? do you want to drive the chat as well? But put the ratings up.
I am driving the chat already, and sorry everyone, because John usually drives the comments, and I'm useless at multitasking. I will come back to you. Should we just quickly run through these few remaining game comments? Right. So Epic Hash Time continues and says, if Barama had played the full 90 minutes, we would have won by a comfortable margin.
Oh my god!
I'm not so sure. Fornals was sleeping. Yes, he was, Paul. Garino says minimum he should change. He should challenge for the ball. He just didn't check behind him. Yep, that's about 4 now. Yep. Absolutely. He's got to be scoring that. That's about Bowen. I said the same at the time. I said, Garino, good save by the goalie, but Bowen should have hit it higher, as the goalkeeper was always likely to go down. Oh, did he save that ball onto the post then?
He did. It was slightly deflected, so it would have crept inside the post.
Ah, right. I missed that. It's down the other end, so miles away from me.
No. I only noticed it was only a very slight contact, but it was a save, basically.
Oh right. Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
So Bowen would have scored if it wasn't for the save. So all right. Let's give the keepers some credit then. Keeper got a touch on it. Neil from Down Under. Evening, Neil.
Hello, Neil.
5:50 a.m. on a Saturday morning. That's what we like to see. Neil.
That's commitment for you.
Yeah. Emma's dad. Goalie got a foot in it. It was on target. Yeah. So this is you just got to say just appreciate people. My eyes are rubbish. They're really rubbish, and it's a long way down the other end of the pitch at London Stadium. All right. So let's.
Where I was sitting then.
Yeah, I know you were in the God yesterday, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. See this, Spuds, see nothing. So this is Nick. Nick lives in Enfield. He lives in Tottenham country, Bandit country, right? And he's seen nothing but Spuds comments celebrating the fact that we lost, but we're the ones that are obsessed with them. Exactly. Let them celebrate.
You got to let them have their day, ain't you?
Let them have their day in the sun. Let them have their day in the sun, because we're going to get to laugh at them again sometime soon when Conte's going to nip off to PSG in the summer.
I know.
Yeah. So fine margins. We didn't get the rub of the green. Yeah, I kind of agree that. But having said that, we didn't play well either. We didn't play well either.
No.
You know. Robert says we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from Ben Rama. Yes, we did.
Agree.
Yes, we did.
Agree.
There was more good. There was more good than bad and ugly, but we definitely did.
Look, I thought he added to the game yesterday.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
the disabled team. Good evening. Looks like a lead supporter, actually. Haven't seen you on it before. Welcome.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Ben Rama needs to keep it simple. Yeah, he does. He sometimes goes for the spectacular when the simple pass is the best. And I think a few of them were guilty of that yesterday in that game. You know what I think? A few of them didn't play the ball early enough. You know, there was a pass on and they didn't play the pass early enough. So I'll
tell you the only thing that I did notice, Gary, because the angle that I had, what I will say, it was very good. It was a good view of the pitch. And quite often in that game, we were playing quite high. So were Frankfurt, and it was a congested midfield. I mean, there was no space. There was no space at all. So Moyes is going to have to come up with a plan to combat that. Even though yesterday we say all this, Frankfurt could have scored another 2 goals. We could have scored another 3 goals. You know, we could have easily.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there's 2 things that gives me massive hope for next week. Number 1 is we opened them up several times. Number 2 is we didn't play well at all. Number 3 is
shit.
Yeah, and number 3 is our set pieces were shit. So that's so I said 2 things. There was 3 things there that give me hope, because if we put all those 3 things right next week, it's a different game. Right, Garino says Bowen overhead was too perfect, or should I say was too close to goal. Well, I mean, it was pretty perfect. It was half inch away from being a stunner, wasn't it? Goal of the month easy, wasn't it? Yeah. He was unlucky the ball didn't hit to keep him going. Yeah, he was. He was also unlucky that nobody followed it in. Disabled team says West Ham is still in this tie. I have confidence West Ham will go through. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like that this morning, mate. But I've come.
No, you didn't. You were having a right tantrum this morning.
No, it was literally. I'm still fuming that Moyes set us up like that. Like, just looking at that on the screen is pissing me off.
On another night, Ian Proctor says those chances would work go in and we win 3-2, but we're still in this. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Evening, chaps, from Stephen Spraggs. Evening, Steve.
Hello, Stephen.
Could you imagine West Ham fans waving flags in a particular order? Not a chance. Not a chance, John. Snooze boxes, Pudding Mill Lane, made from containers. Yes, it is. And it looks like quite good, actually. I think every room is a container and you've got like a shower and
have they got like a reception, or is it really smart? Can you just like fucking pay with your phone as you rock up?
I think there is a reception where you can get a drink and stuff like that, but it's all kind of electronic, automated and everything else. Right. We're nearly there at the end of the comments. All that synchronized, organized singing seems so naff, in my opinion, and lacks any kind of true emotion, a bit like going on come dancing rather than going clubbing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, agree with that.
It was impressive. It was impressive to see, though. It was.
I'm just saying, it's a bit camp. It's not really intimidating, you know. I don't see it as intimidating. Ben Rama, but it's quite good to watch from a distance. Especially, I like the bouncing up and down in different orders. It's like
it's all going off in the chat. Hammerhead and Epic Ash time, like they're going head to head on Ben Rama.
Greedy. If he had longer, we'd lost 3-1 to 4-1. Kieran, morning from Brisbane. How you doing?
Hello, mate.
Spuds are still celebrating their Europa Conference victory. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right, nearly there. Right, no, Johnson. I'm down the bottom now.
Everyone, give us your ratings for Areola. Go on, Gary. Talk to me about Areola.
Areola. Well, I don't think he had a chance with either of the goals. In fact, he made a good save for the second goal before the rebound was tapped in.
Yeah.
Right. I thought he did well. I was behind the goal for the first one. He had absolutely no chance. No chance at all.
No way.
So I don't think he did anything wrong. I thought his distribution was good as it usually is. I thought he was very solid coming out and collecting the ball when he had to. I'd give him a. I'll
probably go a 7. I'll tell you what I did notice of Areola, Gary. And not it's because I'm used to Fabianski. Our defenders use him a lot more. He almost ends up part of the back three, so they're way more comfortable passing the ball back to him, aren't they?
That's true. It's true. I'd give him a 7, Nick. Yeah. I think let's explain the scoring system, right? What is a 6, a 7, and an 8? Go on.
A six is an average game. I've normally got my overlay, but somebody deleted it, Gary, and it wasn't me.
Was that me?
I will put that back up there. Yeah. So, a 6 is an average game. 7 is good. 8 is very good. 9 is excellent, and 10 is perfect. So 6 is not a bad score. 5 is okay, but anything below 5 is below average. Anything below a 5. So if someone gets a 4, they're going to get a donkey on their head.
Donkey head.
Yeah.
Where is the donkey tonight? Where is it?
Hang on.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, Moyes is hiding him. Right. So we're giving Areola a 7. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of agreement in the chat about Areola.
Okay. Right.
Tony, what's this? Tony Cotty said that we've signed a keeper.
Really?
What keeper's that then?
No idea. I've not seen that story.
Being an ITK now, I should know, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should know. Yeah, you're slipping, Gary. You're slipping already.
I know.
Right, Cresswell. For me, I think he was a bit of a. I weren't happy with any of the defence yesterday. I think he was a bit of a mess. Personally, I'd go 5. I don't know what you're all thinking in the chat. I thought defensively they were all a bit pony. I was much more harsh on my ratings last night, but I've calmed down a bit now. I'm sticking to 5. I think he was below average.
I'll tell you what. When you look at the defence as a 3, I think again that Dawson was the star of the show out of the 3.
No, there was no stars of that show.
No. But I think he was the best of the 3. I think Dawson was the best of the 3.
Yeah, he's getting below average tonight.
Yeah, but I've got to mark the other 2 below him. So I would go 5 Cresswell.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Zuma. Right now, I think. Look, I'm going to go a bit easy on him. For the. It's for the second goal. Now, did you see the replay of that second their winning goal?
I did.
Right?
And
he's just fucking standing there.
Yeah, he just watched the ball go past him. He watched the ball
just
go
watching
past
the ball go past him. So, like I say, I was going to go 4 for Zuma, but I will mark him up because he's only just come back. So I'll go 5. Gary, I don't know what you're thinking.
I agree with you on that. You can't really mark him down. He's. I'll tell you what. Just to play yesterday, he must have put in some special effort just to get himself fit enough to start that game. So, I'd give him a 5, definitely. Yeah, as Hammerhead says, Zuma 5 still injured. Yeah.
Right. Now, should we go to the chat for Dawson because me and you are going to disagree on Dawson. So let's let the chat.
Well, I don't think me and you will agree significantly. My thought on Dawson is I would give him a 6. I wouldn't give him any more than that.
An average game.
Yeah.
Okay. What are people saying about?
I don't think you can credit any of the defense yesterday. To be honest, no. I don't think you can.
No. Well, I think yeah, that's fine. Someone's gone 7. All right, we'll go 6. We'll go 6. Yeah. What's John said?
Well, I don't know, John. Oh, Dawson. Yeah. Go on, John. Tell it. He probably thinks an 8, right?
Go on, give us your score on Dawson, John.
you got.
What's that? Garino said Dawson 7, decent game, but was expecting more attack wise. Yeah, I don't know. I can't give any of the defenders credit yesterday. I think we was a mess. Listen. I will say I think it stems from the way we were set up. I think that formation causes chaos, and I think we weren't set up to succeed yesterday. So for me, He can have a 6. Reluctantly, I'll give him a 6. I wasn't happy with any of them defenders. All right, let's go to Johnson next. Gary,
I thought he was horrendously bad.
Shit.
He was horrendously bad. The number of times.
He ain't a good wing back though. He's not a good wing back. He's really
not a good wing back. He was out of position. But I'm telling you, it was like I was watching. It was like, like I sometimes say, Rice is like the adult playing amongst the kids.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday he was like the kids playing amongst the adults.
Yeah.
He got caught forward. He was making such elementary mistakes, and this happened time and time again, where he got stranded forward, where they just played the ball around him, and he's 10 yards up the pitch, having to chase back, but the attackers have already gone. He's completely out of the game, right? I thought he was appalling, Johnson, and I really like Johnson. I love him, but for me, yesterday, that's a 4.
Yeah, it was a 4. I'm not going to go Johnson. Can we give him a minus? Are you throwing the comments up, Gal? Yeah,
I am doing it now. Yeah. Hang on, I was.
Okay.
You notice how I was talking and I stopped putting the comments up.
Can't you do 2 things at once?
Can't do 2 things at once. I'm rubbish at that.
Johnson 5 out of his depth. Black Country Hammer. Johnson 4.
Yeah. Johnson 2, a bit harsh, but you know.
Well, look, we do it for everyone, so we're not going to make any exceptions.
3,
the rules are: so if you're new to this channel, anyone that gets a 4 or lower does get the donkey. He's a happy donkey.
Yeah,
but there you go, mate. There you go.
Guitar Man, can we have a minus? Yeah, I mean, look, I feel for him because he had a poor game, but let's remember back to the second leg of the Lyon game where Johnson was fucking magnificent.
Yeah, right? No, absolutely. Like I say, Johnson for me, he's a brilliant right back. Defensively, he's a defender. He's a brilliant right back. I think you're playing him. It's like Pablo Fornals was shit as a left. He's not a left wing back.
Yeah,
you know, we're playing square pegs in round holes to match up against a team that play this system week in, week out. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, two things, right? And this is, stupid. What Kieran says here, no attacking threat, too slow. Also, Johnson seems to trust his left peg more. Yes, he does.
You said that, didn't you? You said that.
Yeah, and so what tends to happen is he'll get forward, he'll get himself in a good position, and then he'll delay the cross so long, or he'll want to switch back to his more comfortable left foot. And by then, the gap's been closed, right? The gap that he earned has been closed.
Hammerhead's going too quick here. Look, have you gone down to Hammerhead? Don't know what game you're watching, mate. We haven't got to Suchek yet.
No. I think we're going to agree on that, Hammerhead. Yeah.
We haven't got to Suchek yet. Be patient.
Yeah. Soufal for second leg. I think Soufal again. I think what you had in the second leg against Lyon was Johnson over on the left and Soufal on the right. Yeah. And both of them were magnificent that night. So you wouldn't get any pushback from me, to be honest.
No. So look, let's go to Pablo Fornals, people. And like I say, it's going to be very much the same for me. I think he's almost got to get marked. He was bad anyway, but he's got to get marked down for that first goal because look, I agree with the point that I made earlier on. Well, I know I'm right. He's not a defender. You wouldn't put him as a centre back. How after 1 minute can Pablo Fornals be left as the sole person at the back stick for a normal cross from open play? How can that even happen when all of the centre backs have been dragged across? It should never have happened, but he's got a duty as a player to do as he's instructed. He didn't do his job. He lost his man completely. He didn't track him. The guy slips in behind him. And to be honest, it wasn't the only, look, Pablo always puts in a shift. He doesn't stop running. But again, this is what happens when you play players in the wrong position. Then they're not going to play well. Pablo Fornals played shit yesterday.
Switching off in the first minute of our first European semi-final in 46 years is borderline criminal.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go the same as Johnson just to be fair for me. I don't think he was any better than Johnson. I've got to be honest.
You got to call it how it is, and I think he was a bit rubbish yesterday, Fornals. So
I love Pablo Fornals, and this is the first.
We all do.
I've never once put a donkey on his head.
Yeah. So Fornals gets a donkey, says Paul. I think he does. I think we go 4 on him.
Sorry, Pabs.
Drop Cresswell for Johnson. Start Soufal, says Ballon Dawson. Yeah. Fornals, headless chicken, 5. He was awful, says Paul. Fornals, 4, worked hard, but was to blame for our first. Needs to be played in the centre. Yeah, he does. He was played out of position. Yeah, so not completely his fault. Not completely his fault, but, you do expect a professional footballer to make a decent fist of wherever they're put, and he didn't. Fornals was poor. 4.
Yeah, everyone. I think everyone's in agreement.
Fornals was having a siesta. 5 from Amit.
Yeah.
Ballon Dawson 4. Trudge 4.
Yeah.
2 from Paul. Defo Soufal should start against the Arse. Yeah, I think he will, Sean. I think he will. And Fornals 5.
But Gary, doesn't this kind of illustrate why we can't play wing backs with the players that we've got available?
Well, we can't play wing backs because we don't have wing backs.
I'll tell you what, in that system there, I am sorry, Johnson. It should have been Fredericks on the right hand side if you're going to play wing backs.
Yeah, of course, because at least that way you've definitely got 1 out of 2 wing backs, right?
Yeah.
We played with no wing backs.
I know, it was bizarre. Right, okay, we're going to move on to Souček now. So let us know what you think about Souček. Gary, tell me about Souček. I'll leave this one to you because you know what I think.
Well, listen, right. I love Souček, and you always look for an opportunity to have a go at him, but I think your opportunity this time is going to be justified because I thought he was absolutely terrible yesterday.
Shit.
He didn't put a foot right.
The only thing he did right was he slipped that ball through to Bowen when Bowen should have scored.
All right, I'll give him that. And maybe that earns him another half a point. But that aside, what he's there to do was to battle in central midfield with Declan Rice and to protect the back 3 or back 5 or whatever it was. He didn't either.
He weren't in the game. He weren't in the game.
He played a hand in the winning goal. He lost his man. He constantly gave the ball away and he constantly lost 50-50s and he was constantly found out of position. He was completely off his game yesterday. I'd give him a 4.
I think for me with Souček, like I said to you, where I was sitting, the field of play was compressed. There was a lot of bodies in a small area. That's Souček's worst nightmare. He can't operate under pressure. He physically can't. If he's got people snapping at his ankles when he's got the ball, it's not going to go well. He can't. He hasn't got quick feet. He doesn't. I don't think he thinks necessarily very quickly when he's on the ball. No, I think he had a mare. So for me, what did you say, Gary? A 4?
A 4.
What's everyone else saying?
And a donkey head. Well, it's a mixture between 5s, 4s, and 3s.
All right, so we'll go 4. That's fine. This is what I mean. So there were some shocking performances yesterday.
Really, really bad. I mean, at least a third of our team didn't turn up.
I know.
Right.
I know. Oh, and then we're going to go to this, man. And I'm going to take Declan Rice.
Go on.
I thought he was a man amongst boys. I thought he turned up. He was amazing. Some of these fucking tackles that literally got the fans going. 3 or 4 tackles that he put in where he just smashed into the player. That he's passing, he's driving runs, taking players on. He was outstanding. Like I say, if you can give someone, I can't go a 10, but for me, I'm going 9 for Declan Rice. He was outstanding. He couldn't have done any more than what he did. He was a captain's performance, and he literally he led that team. But unfortunately, we didn't have enough players around him that was kind of on his wavelength. We didn't.
I'll tell you what, he was brilliant, and even on the international stage, you see opposition players standing off him and waving him through because they don't want to go. They don't want to fucking challenge him. They know he's better than them, right? He was outstanding yesterday. I would be inclined to give him, well, it's between an 8 and a 9, but when you consider the rest of the performances in the team and the performance that he put in, it has to be worthy of a 9, right? Because that is stunning in amongst that group of players we had playing yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Garino makes a good point. Partly to blame for not closing down for the first goal.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, there were 3 or 4 players that should have been dealing with that. I don't think that cross shouldn't have gone in.
And going back to that first picture that you showed of where the goal scorer was compared to Fornals, Rice probably thought there's no danger there.
No. We sticking the man of the match on Rice straight away. Might as well.
Yeah.
No one else is getting that. Right, okay. So Lanzini next, Gary.
What can you say about Lanzini? I thought he battled. Battled. I'm not sure he'd done so much in the attacking third, but I didn't think, I didn't think as a team we particularly did much right when it came to the final ball or making the right decision. I would say that Lanzini, I'll probably give him a 6.
A 6. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I won't argue with you. I think he was kind of he was doing his usual. He was knitting play, showing for the ball, really busy, couple of good challenges. But I don't think that. I don't think that formation, and that's probably why. I know Len's made a comment there. Look, how many of those bad performances can you put down to the way the opposition played? That's probably, right. That's
probably
right.
Quite a few. But
the fact is, when you change, look, like I said, there were square pegs in round holes all over the place in this team yesterday for West Ham. Now, only a very, very top level player like Declan Rice is just going to bet, because he weren't playing in his normal position. He was out on the right, he was on the left, he was all over the place yesterday. But Declan Rice will it felt. I don't know whether he was instructed to do that or whether he was just trying to sort of take the ball by the horns and trying to sort of drive us forward. But
I'll tell you what, Nick. Looking at the scores in the chat here, pretty much everyone has given him an 8. So I think we're going to have to give him an 8.
Who's that?
Rice. Still man of the match, but I think we're going to have to give him an 8.
Yeah.
I think we might have overscored him.
Okay. All right. So Lanzini, you said a 6, didn't you?
I'd give him a 6.
Yeah. Okay.
What do people think of Lanzini? We've got 6.
I'm not going no lower than 6 for him.
Another 8 for Rice. We've got Lanzini 6.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Sean, harsh, possibly fair on the potato salad king is knackered. Is he knackered? I thought you
got a mark. You got a mark on their performance, mate.
Yeah,
His performance was terrible. So if he's tired, then he shouldn't be playing, should he?
Lanzini 6. Lanzini ineffective. Yeah, I thought he was effective in the attacking third. That's what I was trying to say in my ham-fisted way. But I thought he did quite well from a battling. From the defensive side of the game, I thought he was all right. I thought he got stuck in quite a few times, Lanzini, and I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah. No, he did. He's a tough little player.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's go to
Trudge says Lanzini got bullied at times. I'll tell you what. This is something I noticed with Lanzini yesterday. I noticed it twice with Antonio as well, and it's maddening. They let the ball bounce and completely mistimed it and gave the opposition the chance to nick the ball off them. There was 2 times, almost one after the other, where the ball came up to Antonio, and instead of trying to meet the ball on the bounce, he let the ball bounce and he gave the defender a time. It basically bounced over his head then, and the defender then just swept it up. And the same thing happened to Lanzini. He put in this really pathetic effort to win a header that he was nowhere near tall enough to win. After he'd let the ball bounce.
He completely misjudged the flight of the ball as well.
Yeah, he did.
It was a joke. But anyway, Gary, Antonio, what did you think of Antonio?
Well, to be honest, I thought I was disappointed with Antonio on the basis that when the game first started, I thought he looked sloppy, and we see this quite a lot with Antonio, where his touch is poor. He's very heavy touch. Not his usual neat and tidy self. I mean, and you hold him to the benchmark of the Antonio we saw playing this in the second half against Lyon, which is premium Antonio. That is top quality Antonio, right? So we know what good Antonio looks like. What we saw in the game yesterday was not good Antonio. It was okay Antonio, but it wasn't good Antonio. When he scored the goal, he probably had 10, 15 minutes where he looked a little bit more confident, a little bit more determined. But then he just settled back into the pattern that he'd kind of established before the goal. So I think I'd score him. I'd say he had 20, 25 minutes good and the rest a little bit average. So on that basis, I'll probably give him a 6.
Yeah, I would probably go 7. I mean, when you look at the scores of the players behind him, Gary, what exactly do you expect from your striker? I mean, what he did do as well was a couple of times, he held the ball up well. We did play hopeful balls to him. He did control the ball. He did bring it down. He did bring other players into play. I think he did. And there was a couple of times as well where he kind of he got the ball down. And a quick turn of pace. He hasn't got that blistering pace that he once had. I don't think he can. He's got acceleration, Antonio. I think over sort of 10, 15 yards, it can get away from someone. But over a long distance, I think defenders seem to catch him.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we should give him even though I'm saying a 6.
I'm going to go 7.
No, even though I'm saying a 6, let's give him a 7, just because those pricks behind me were slagging him off from about the 5th minute yesterday, and he done nothing to deserve it in the slightest. I mean, he wasn't having a great game, but he wasn't having a fucking horrible one.
Look. Antonio, he's make no bones about it. Antonio's got the hardest job on that pitch.
Yeah.
He has. I don't know. We all know he's not a striker. He's not a world-class striker. But he does everything that he can for us. It's not our. He does.
Yeah.
I find it hard. I do find it hard to sort of dig him out the way that. And I find it hard to swallow the way that people do rip into him sometimes. But the
thing is with him is he's so unorthodox. He's not come up the academy route. He does everything in his own way, in his own style. He's not going to be aesthetically pleasing, and he's not going to be pleasing to the eye. Right? No. He's not this neat, lovely player that does everything. Does all the beautiful things. What he does is through hard work and graft.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a bit of a messy. He does things in a bit of a messy, unorthodox way, but my God, the contribution he's made to this season, when you look at it, it's amazing. So how people can have a go at him, I just don't know. Don't know.
Look, he is frustrating. We all get pissed off when he misses chances and stuff like that. We all do. We all get annoyed with him. But
but you know what I mean. It ain't that. It ain't that. There's a big difference between going, oh, for fuck's sake, Antonio, when he misses a chance or he screws something up, or someone getting really personal with him. And that's what these idiots behind me were doing last night. And I can't stand that. that. That's the ugly side of football supporters, as far as I'm concerned. Don't get personal.
No. You can guess. You can say someone's having a shit game and this, that, the other, but I don't. Let's leave it there anyway. We've done it.
And Ballon Dawson says, I expect our striker not to have a semi-professional first touch. Well, all right. He hasn't.
Yeah, look at the same time, Ballon Dawson. But the thing is, who are you criticising though? Because the thing is, Antonio, you can't ever doubt his work ethic. You can't.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, it's not his fault that he's on his own playing up there, and he's got no help. There's no one else that can come in. That is not Antonio's fault. To be quite honest, that's David Moyes' fault. It's not Antonio's fault.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
I just wanted to see Hustler Antonio, like we saw against Leon. I agree. That is the Antonio we all want to see. The one who gives the defenders a nightmare. The one that drags defenders all. I mean, against Leon, he was dragging 2 defenders off and creating space for Bowen and everybody else. That is the Antonio we want to see. I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just ain't going to happen.
I agree with Garino. I agree with Garino on this next comment.
Antonio should move out to left wing. Yes, I agree with that. Of course.
I mean, imagine Antonio on the left, Bowen on the right, and a proper good striker as well. I mean, imagine that. That'd be amazing.
Can't understand all the negativity. Black Country Am says, no, there's no negativity, mate. We're really upbeat about this. It's only half time. We're only 1-0 down. The negativity is all we're doing is scoring the players. We saw it. That's all.
Yeah.
We're definitely not being negative. We're going to come to that. We think we're in with a good chance next week.
Yeah.
Frankfurt were lightning it intercept here. I mean, that's their game, right? Is to shut people down.
Yeah.
They really pressed us, and they
really.
Go
for them. I'm just going to go and get myself another beer. 1 minute.
Okay. John says, John, who's given up on his internet, says, Blake behind me yesterday called Antonio lazy. Yes, after 6 minutes and 41 seconds. That is exactly what these people behind me were doing. Why? It's personal. When it comes to that, it's just personal. And I just wish people like that didn't support West Ham, but they do. Frankfurt were very quick, says Ballon Dawson. Yes, they were. John says he times him every game for that CUNT comment. I used to have that in the old Bobby Moore when who was it? Someone was having a go at Frank Lampard Jr. There was a guy behind me who used to CUNT about Frank Lampard every single game. Whatever went wrong on the pitch, it was Frank Lampard's fault. I did actually turn around and say something to him at some point. And I was, ended up in an argument, but hey, there you go. Garino says, Antonio, people need perspective. I remember Ian Dowie and David Kelly. Yeah, don't we all? David Kelly, our new striker, on the first day of the season, on the back page of the Sun, I think it was, it said, new West Ham striker has one leg longer than the other. David Kelly.
Right, Bowen. There's a couple of people scoring Bowen already.
Yeah.
For me, I would have gone 8, but he did miss that chance.
Was the bloke behind you overweight by any chance? How ironic would that be? Yeah, probably. People pushing in last night was a joke. My mates went out to a few people to F off. Yeah. Bowen, right. So Bowen looked class at times 7, Bowen 8, Bowen 8. Listen, I thought Bowen was pretty good last night. Quite impressive, full of work, full of guile. I'd probably give him, I wouldn't give him as much as Rice. I'd probably give him a 7.
Well, he can have an 8, and Rice can be the man of the match. It doesn't matter. You can. I mean, if like I say, he would have got an 8, but for me, he's a forward. His job is to score goals. I know he had that amazing effort with the overhead kick, but he had to bury that chance. You know, that was.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give him a 7. I'll let you make the choice of what you're going to score him.
7.
All right, you're going to go 7. I think that there's the audience is split between 7s and 8s, so I think 7 is fair.
Right, is Epic Hash Time still there? We're just going to score Ben Rama.
I don't know. Epic Hash Time. What are we going to score Ben Rama? 11.
Right, so let's give Benny a score. Right, Gary, go on. Tell me about Ben Rama. Come on. What did you think about Ben?
He came onto the pitch. He looked like a coiled spring. He looked like he wanted to do something. He immediately won a free kick. He immediately started taking opportunities to get into awkward positions and getting. He was trying to influence the game. Definitely, he was trying to influence the game. He was trying to make things happen. I really like what he did. There were a few errors because you always get that with Benny, the anticlimactic, where he does something good and does something bad. But I think on balance, I would score him again. I wouldn't score him as I had Rice. I'd probably give him a Bowen style 7.
I'll give him a 7 for the time he was on the pitch and for the he did some good stuff. He was definitely above average, so I would go 7. Is that people agreeing with that?
I think so. Yeah, 7.
Does that mean I've got to take the donkey off his head?
7s and 6s. Was that for Epic Hash Time?
Yeah. Look, I'll move it over here on top of Moyes. Hang on.
He's getting one right.
Yeah, I know. Right. Can I start on David Moyes?
Did Noble come onto the pitch? He didn't, did he?
He didn't. Sorry, I'll get rid of him. Sorry, Nobes. Yeah. Right.
David Moyes. Big David Moyes.
Okay. Let's pull that over there. Look. Kudos in keeping the Zuma thing under wraps. I heard the news. I thought brilliant. That means there's no chance that we're going to play a back 3 because that means Zuma being back. Zuma Dawson, we can go to a back 4. Like I say, trying to play against a team like Frankfurt who have they've been playing this way forever. They've got brilliant wing backs and attacking wing backs to go and try and match a team and go toe to toe with them in their style by us putting a load of square fucking pegs in round holes. In the same formation that's seen us play out of 2 cups so far this year. All right, fair enough. Masuaku weren't playing, but it ain't it's not one player. It's that formation. It don't work. Adding another defender into the mix doesn't make you more solid, like the centre back. I know. I think Stell's of the opinion that Cresswell was put there to babysit Zuma because he wasn't quite fit yet. That weren't the case. Whether Zuma was fit, whether we had Diop as well, we would have been playing that back 3 yesterday. That was David Moyes' tactic. I don't know why. If you're going to make mistakes, you make them in the first leg. All right? That's what you do. And he did make that. I am sorry. It was a colossal fuck up, and it ain't just me that hates that back 5, Gary. I don't know anyone else that didn't wince when they saw us go to a back 3. Most people would have gone, "What the fuck? Why are we doing that?"
It was a bit worrying. It's very strange, You look here. Moyes gets a 10 for the death stares alone. He was quite angry because the thing is with Moyes,
I was angry. Should have seen my death stares.
Listen, Moyes can only do what he can do in terms of picking the formation and selecting the players, and he's done that.
And he got it wrong.
And inside the first minute, Fornals has lost his man. And that's where you're thinking, oh, really? Is that what you're doing? I mean, if that was me in Moyes' position and I've chosen to do this elaborate tactic, or try something different, and then one of my players undoes all that good work, which they've probably been training on the field for the last 4 days, one of my players undoes it in the first minute, I'd be doing death stares as well. I'd be bloody annoyed.
Yeah, but listen, it's not that easy. Like I said to you, I manage my son's team. It's under 13. It's low level. It's, I know it's not the same, but we did it in a game about 3 or 4 months ago. I went from a back 4 to a back 3, and at half time, my centre back, my main centre back, came over to me and he said, "We can't do this because no one knows their job." And I said, "What do you mean?" I spoke to him, and he said, "Well, when we're 2 centre backs, we've each got our own area, our own zone. We know that the fullback's there." He said, "We're not comfortable. We're getting overlaps." It was, and that's the thing. And it's the same. Look, obviously,
I expect more.
Level.
I expect more from top highly paid professionals.
Gary, wait, Gary, you saw straight away from that first goal the way Zuma and Dawson and everyone was clustered over on that right hand side. Cresswell was central. Fornals was over here. It creates chaos. It's a fucking mess. We should not be playing like that.
Listen, I agree. But Neil has hit on an interesting point here. When the TV coverage I watched had a formation of 4-3-3. Now, I have been talking on Twitter. I've been talking on social media of all sorts today, and I've also watched some other YouTube videos.
We went to a back 4,
and lots of people have said that was a back 4. It wasn't a back 5.
We went to a back 4.
If you have a look, I'll tell you what really kills the argument that it was a back 4 is. Just look at the freeze frame of just before the second goal that they score, right? Have a look at that freeze frame. Have a look at the freeze frame of the first goal. When we're defending, we were playing a back 5, right? There's no two ways about it. You look at the frame that Nick put up earlier, where you had Fornals as the player furthest over, and then Cresswell tucked inside. You had 5 defenders. They went first like we weren't there. And then for the second goal as well, you had all 5 defenders in line. We were defending with a 5. And I think when we were attacking, it kind of reverted to a 4 with Fornals dropping inside a little bit. So I think it was a little bit of smoke and mirrors. But one thing definitely happened. It was on about the 65th or 70th minute is we visibly changed to a 4, even when we were defending.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Gary, what would you give Moyes for a score? And John, give us. Well, everyone, give us your score. But John, what would your score be as well?
Well, listen, I don't blame him for everything bad that the players did, so I'd give him a 5.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to put a donkey on Moyes' head. Not today.
Moyes went full Emperor Palpatine during that interview. Yeah, he did. He was proper angry. He was peeved, and I can see why. why. I don't blame. You can't blame him for everything that his players do on the pitch. I thought we started as a 3. John said, I thought we started as a 3. Well, we did. But what is that? Is that the tactics and the selection, or is that the players? The players have got to start getting into these, starting these games on the front foot a little bit more. Moyes 7, had his hands tied. Golden Sullivan. It's too early for that, Pete. That's too early for that Golden Sullivan stuff. Let's wait till the summer. Mind your fingers, Nick. When we went back 4, we played much better. Yeah, when we went back 4, which happened probably about, I think, the 65th or 70th minute, Frankfurt never troubled us anymore.
No. No, I know. But
I think that was because we put an extra man in midfield, and that helped, because the Rice and Souček were clearly being outnumbered, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, look, should we leave this graphic up so we can look? We can all see. We all know what the scores are. Let's just get rid of them all a minute. And then what we'll do, we'll have a mess around about how we should set up next week against Frankfurt. So in the chat, obviously, look, there is no way that David Moyes is going to play 3 at the back again. He would have to be a madman to do it. So it will be 4 at the back. So who do you think is going to be in the back 4? I'll tell you what, the conversation's got to be after that performance from Johnson today. Does he start at right back against Frankfurt? What do you reckon?
I'll tell you what, my choice, I'd go Soufal.
You'd start Soufal.
I wouldn't risk the chance that, Johnson he's had his confidence has had a little knock. And what you could say is, if it was a league game, you could say, "I'll get back in there, son. Get your confidence again." But this is a very critical game. I wouldn't risk that things are going to come good. You know, I wouldn't risk the fact that players who've had a lot of success against Johnson this week will fancy going up against him next week. We do have an option. I'd put Soufal in.
You put Soufal in?
Yes.
Okay, right, 1 minute. So let me get... Where are you?
John says the same. Cresswell, Zuma, Dawson, Soufal. Johnson should be left back, said Garino. Well, I'll tell you what, Garino, he was magnificent, wasn't he? And
would Garino play? Would Garino play him over Cresswell?
Well, looks like it, but I don't think I would. I would. But then again, who knows? Who knows what Moyes is thinking? He might be thinking what happened in that second leg was. I mean, you got to say, as a fullback, whether he's on the left or the right, he's very, very good. He's just not a wing back, is he?
No, that's it. Right. So
Kieran wants to play 7-2-1.
7. Yeah. I bet Moyes would if he could. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leon Troj says the Leon team. So what was that Leon team? Right. There was no Zuma, so it's not going to be the Leon team.
No, it was Diop, wasn't it? So it's going to be Zuma for Diop. But that was the Leon team. When it didn't Soufal play in that game?
But yeah, he did.
He did.
Johnson was playing left. So yeah, that if you look at that is probably our strongest team, both defensively and attacking wise. All right, David
Moyes is never going to start Ben Johnson left when Cresswell's available, though.
Sorry, Zuma's injured. What again? Is he? I know he looks a bit troubled last night. He's not injured, is he?
He did go down holding his ankle again, didn't he?
Yeah, I know he did. And Moyes said he might have gone over on it again, but he did come on as he did run off and carried on the game, unlike last time.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's hope he ain't.
Let's hope he ain't. Look, personally, for me, if Cresswell's fit, Johnson's not going to start on the left in front of him. I don't think Moyes will do that. Yeah. So I think that will be the back four. Rice and Souček will obviously play.
Yeah.
Lanzini will play as part of that three as well. I think those three have been not in that game yesterday because of the way that we played, but they've been brilliant. Those three in the middle. Bowen on the right. Antonio is obviously going to play up front. We've got no one else. The other bone of contention is because people have been called in for Ben Rama to start. So it's Ben Rama or Fornals. So who do you start?
I'll play Fornals because Fornals not playing as a wing back, and when you look at again, I keep mentioning it, but when you look at the role he's played in the second legs against Sevilla and against Lyon, when we've needed to open those teams up and actually win the games, he's been brilliant.
Look, there is value in having good players from the bench as well. He's a good. I think that might be. I think we might have found his niche. He seems like he's a good impact player.
Yeah.
You know, when players are getting a little bit leggy, you bring him on. And he's probably just exactly the type of player that you don't want to go up against because he's tricky, he's lively. So I think he's a good impact player, and I think that's how Ben Rama should be used.
I quite enjoy seeing him come on from the bench. I do. Yeah. It's nice to have a plan B, and that's what he is, I think.
Yeah. So no, for me, I don't think he will. I don't think Moyes will start him either.
So Neil says, as bad as we were, to be honest, we came close to winning. We did. We came close to winning, even when we played bad, even when our finishing weren't great, even when our set pieces were terrible. We still came close.
What's Garino said?
Rest is obvious, except Ben Rama wide left and Fornals in central attacking midfield in place of Lanzini. Yeah, well, that's possible. Yeah. I don't think I would for a big game, to be honest. I think I'd stick with Lanzini. I think Lanzini's been brilliant in the middle with Rice and Souček. When we've played this way. Do you think that the rest did the players good?
No, it doesn't. It didn't seem like it, did it?
I don't think so either. So what would you do on Sunday against Arsenal?
Oh no. It's apart from anything else, you can't risk getting any injuries. We can't get any injuries. I would look. I'm not being funny. I couldn't give a shit about the league at the minute. Well, I think. You know, we've got to stack all our chips against Europa. He's got to do what he did last week, I think.
So John said we had 15 shots on target, hit the woodwork 3 times, and yet we didn't play our usual high standards. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's a good point. Good point.
Fornals, Benny, good off the bench. Yep. Can't agree. Garino, Ben Rama, better off the bench. Can't afford to drop Lanzini. No, I don't think so. Ben Rama, Lanzini is he was I think he got back into the Argentina's squad recently, didn't he? But you got to bear in mind where he's come from, the kind of pedigree of player that Lanzini is. This is no mug. This is potentially a top international player who was going to have a glittering career in front of him once before that massive injury, playing in the same side as Messi for Argentina. I've been listening to start back to listen to the game, says Pam. I would not play Souček. I'd play Noble. Or I don't know, you said that today. You said that today.
With the way that he played, he was about as much use as a fucking chocolate teapot. Honestly, he was pointless in that central midfield. I think that's what we're going to face again. Unless you can get Souček playing to his strengths, which is getting up the pitch, getting in the box, and getting good deliveries into him. I don't really see at the moment what much else he's going to offer in that game, because they're very quick, they're very technical. It's a compressed playing area. It's going to be again. So you need players with technical ability in the middle. And Noble has got that. Noble can pick a pass.
Well, John agrees with you and Pam. He's going for Noble as well. So yeah, maybe it's something that we could try. Kieran says the team you have there has to be the starting 11. Garino says, seeing as we have Arsenal on Sunday, would you rest anyone? That's going to be a question.
I'd rest every single player, Garino. I would. I'd rest them
all. I'd go for a similar team. I'll tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed going to Chelsea last week. I'd go for a similar team. Obviously, you got to remember we're without Dawson on Sunday. Yeah. So what we're going to do? We're going to play kids at centre half.
Well, I'll tell you what, he can't play. He won't play Zuma, because Zuma's just back from injury. So even if he hasn't got an injury that he's picked up again, he wouldn't be playing twice in 3 days. So Zuma won't be playing. So it's gonna be Johnson, probably Elise. Elise's been training with the first team, so I think we're probably going to see him come in. Look, it's a good opportunity for the lad. Rice, I wouldn't play Souček against Arsenal, because I just don't think there's any point. I wouldn't play Noble either. Stick someone else in. Stick Dan Chesters in, or I wouldn't play Noble, because I want to save Noble for the European games. And Rice, I think, has got the legs to play twice in 3 days. Rice can do it. I'd give him half a game.
Garino says maybe put Fornals in central midfield in place of Souček and have Ben Rama on the left.
That is a good shout.
For the Arsenal match. Yeah. Justice for Crowell, says Paul.
See, look. If you do this for me, now what this allows us to do, because at the moment we saw yesterday Rice all over the place bombing forward, because we lack anything in the middle, really. There, when he's got Souček next to him, it's down to Rice to drive that ball forward and connect defense to attack. When we've got Fornals and Lanzini in there, Rice can hold. He can just hold. And then you've got Lanzini and Fornals who can play quick, interchanging football. They've got Bowen and Ben. If you play Ben Rama as well, because I think that's what we're going to need to do against Frankfurt. I think they're going to play. They're a counter-attacking team anyway. It's going to be on us to what we don't want to do. Look, I think we'd all love to see us come out of the blocks really, really quick, but we've got to be careful. What we can't do is go conceding again. So I think we've almost got to treat this like it's a 0-0, and try and frustrate and play a normal game. Play a normal game. Try and control the game. Try and frustrate them. Grind them down. And if we can get to, I'll tell you what, if we can get to half time 0-0. I'll be happy with that. What we can't do, you can't expect us to come out. We've seen how good they are on a counter attack. The worst thing that we could do is come out flying at them, because we're gonna get goosed on the counter. We can't do it.
I totally agree. TDNY Rescue, YN's Rescue says, sad thing is we had. Don't start him off, for Christ's sake.
What's this?
If we had a decent sized squad, you could just start in Nick off. We wouldn't have to field weakened sides. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? Got to bear in mind, right? We've got 4 league games to go. We've actually survived. We've got 4 league games to go and a maximum of 2 more European games. 6 games.
Yeah, so, I know, but our results have dropped off, Gary. There's not an argument there.
Yeah, I know.
Moyes
won't play any academy players against Arsenal, says Hammerhead. So that puts Elise to bed.
I think he will, Hammerhead. We've just seen what Moyes says and what Moyes does are 2 different things, aren't they?
This is what I would do. What Garino said here. Crowell, why would you not risk Crowell? Why would you not put Vlasic in against Arsenal? I'll
tell you what. Should we do Arsenal? Let's do Arsenal.
Yeah.
Go on. So is Bowen's out? Yeah.
Yeah, Bowen's out.
Antonio's out.
Yeah.
Ben Rama can stay, because he's only going to be a sub anyway. Lanzini's out.
Yeah.
Fornals, he's probably got he can probably play.
Fornals can play. Fornals can play. Rice ain't playing.
Soufal, would you play him?
I would play him
again? Yeah, if you're going to play him in the European game, would you play him?
Yeah, I'll play him. It'll be fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Dawson is obviously out. Zuma, I don't think he'll play him. I'm going to take him out.
He won't play him.
Cresswell, he won't play Cresswell either, I don't think.
No.
Do you think he will?
No, I don't think so.
I think he'll play Rice.
I think he'll play Johnson on the left.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, it should be fun. It's a bit of a different way of doing the show.
Barren wasteland, isn't it?
I know. Right. So let's do that. Okay. So let's bring in some youth players. Here we go. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
So Chester's, Elise. Have we still got Longfellow?
I don't think he's going to be playing a multitude of them, right, Nick? I think he'll be filling the odd gap. So I think Elise will be my shout for.
Is Ashby fit?
I don't think so. No, I'd put a Lacey in as one of the centre backs, but I wouldn't use. Probably wouldn't use any of the others.
You put a Lacey in, all right?
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. Is he left-sided or right-sided?
I think he's left-sided. So, and who would we put on the right of central defence?
I think that's got to be. I think you got to play Johnson in centre back, ain't you? Wouldn't you play them two?
Well,
I'll tell you what you could do. You could play Rice back there with Elise.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, and I think that would be a sensible thing to do. Bit of leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be good. You know, Rice back there with a kid. Yeah. I think that would be.
Now Noble's going to start in central midfield, obviously.
Noble's going to start. Right, I better pull him in there. Are we having Vlasic as well? Yarmolenko's going to start, aren't he?
Yeah. Vlasic is going to play. Vlasic is going to play in his natural number 10 role, right in the middle up there.
I'll bring him in now. 1 minute. Here we go. Right, so
Paul's saying for the So Garino's confirming my suspicions.
What's that?
Ashby is fit as well.
Ashby is fit. So there you go.
So Ashby could play on the right. Elise is left side. I like Ashby. Fredericks is fit. Yarmolenko plays up front, doesn't he? Noble comes into the middle.
See, look, when you look at this, we're looking a bit fucking empty in midfield here. What are we doing about that central midfield?
Paul says, for the love of God, give Okaflex a chance. And Pam
are we pulling? Do you reckon Fornals could drop back into central midfield?
Yeah, he could. Yeah,
that is a bit of an empty mid.
That's a slow. I'll tell you what. That is where I would play Crow.
So you give Crow a game?
I'll give Crow a game. Yeah.
All right. Is he still there? I don't even know if he's still at the training ground.
He was warming up the other night. That is his position. Is defensive midfielder.
Okay. Imagine if he fucking puts in a great performance. How annoying is that going to be?
Yeah, well, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? So it's 4-2-3-1. That is our selection, isn't it?
So you got Crow and Noble. So look, Crow's got energy. As we know that much.
Well, Crow will provide the legs that Noble hasn't got.
Yeah. So Fredericks instead of Soufal, because I think like you said, Soufal's going to play on the weekend.
Yeah.
He'll play on Thursday. I mean.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If they turned up with that team, I'd actually quite look forward to watching it.
I think that's not a bad team. Right. So what are people saying in the chat? I've just fucked around.
Could have gone to Westfields and always got notice. Well, we've gone through most of them already about Ashby being fit and Fredericks being fit and everything else. Zero pace in the attack will be like Chelsea. Well, yeah, Fornals, Ben Rama, Vlasic. Yeah, but Vlasic is in this formation playing in his natural position, which he doesn't ever play in. So that'd be good. Okaflex was rubbish against Fulham last week, nowhere near ready. You know, what is he? Right winger, Okaflex?
He can play right or left. So it would be I think it'd be on the left hand side.
All right. Shall we, for the purposes of our selection, should we put Okaflex in?
Yeah, right. Okaflex, you've been picked, mate. There you go. You're in.
Yeah, there you go. Drop Ben Rama.
And probably, yeah. I mean, look. I think Vlasic. You've got to give him a chance in this. He still hasn't had a chance in the middle in the number 10 yet.
That's right. So put Vlasic in the middle with number 10, where he is now.
Yep.
Put Okaflex on the right and put Ben Rama on the left. Drop Fornals out. Rest Fornals.
Rest Fornals.
Yeah.
Well, so where am I putting Benny on the left?
On the left.
Okay.
That's
there we
I'd
go.
Yeah.
Right, Moyes, I hope you're watching, mate.
That's not a bad side, I don't think. That's all right.
Two kids in there as well. You've got Pace from Fredericks.
There you go, Trudge.
What's that?
Trudge was saying, play a kid for fuck's sake. We have played 2 for you, Trudge. It's all right. Pam, I'm going on Sunday. My first match in 3 years because of health.
I hope you have a good time, Pam.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. Don't forget, we have 4 days till Frankfurt, so fitness won't be an issue. Yeah, true. Just the risk of injuries. Yeah. Good to have you back, Pam, says John.
Right.
Double hammers.
Okay, so that's going to be our team. That's going to be our team against Arsenal.
And let's talk about Arsenal briefly. I mean, there ain't going to be much of a match review here, but let's talk about it very briefly.
I'll leave the team up. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their recent results, I mean, the last one, they beat Man United 3-1 at home. Before that, they beat Chelsea 4-2 away. And then the 3 previous games, they lost away at Southampton, at home to Brighton, and away to Crystal Palace. They lost 3 on the bounce to what you could call, all right, they're all good sides. Southampton, Brighton, and Palace, they're all good sides, but you wouldn't expect Arsenal to be getting, Palace wiped the floor with them 3-0, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Brighton beat them quite convincingly at home as well. But and we know Chelsea are not that good at the moment after what we nearly did to them last week. We know Man United are not that good. So I would say, looking at these results, you've got to take more into account the results not against Man United and Chelsea. You've got to take the results against the other sides into account. And when they've come up against good, tough, disciplined sides who are performing well, Arsenal haven't done very well at all. When we played them earlier in the season, me and you went to that, didn't we? And that was a miserable night, a really miserable night where we were appalling.
Yeah. And
we played Masuaku. We played 3 at the back.
Is that the one where we almost ended up rolling about on the kitchen floor trying to do a review show that I had to delete afterwards?
That was quite funny, actually.
Was that the one?
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where your dog was trying to hump my leg, wasn't it? But yeah, it was a bad night. It was a really bad night. Got coined in the head. I've mentioned that a few times. 2p. Cheap.
Weren't even a quid.
Cheap fuckers. 2p.
Right.
Didn't think that sort of thing happened at Arsenal. I thought they were kindly genteel, kind of prestigious club. But no, they've got mugs over there as well who throw coins around. What happened there, Nick? You remember we went out and we had a little drink at half time, and I think it was very early in the second half. They went 1-0 up, didn't they?
They went 1-0 up. Yeah, I think we were relatively happy, weren't we? With
yeah.
We were relatively happy, and it didn't last long. I kind of, the trouble is with Arsenal, right? They're different to Chelsea. They build from the back. They mesmerise you with passing. They do still do that. So I think we have got to have a bit of a solid team because they will pull our players all over the place. They will do that.
Yeah.
So I think, but they're not physical. They're still not physical. So I think if we can kick lumps out of them and keep it, because all we've got to do is keep it at 0-0 for half the game, because then you can start bringing players on. Then you can bring Suchik on. Then you can bring Fornals on. Then you can bring these other players on, and we can. And that's the thing. That is, how good is that? If you can keep it if you can sustain the game, like we did against Chelsea, and then you can start throwing more players on, because we could have easily nicked that game against Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I think it's brilliant. It was really nice actually late in the game being able to bring a couple of players on.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, enjoyed that. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that there's possibly if we pick the right team and that team performs well, I think there's a point available for us here, maybe even more.
Yeah. Absolutely. But anyway, look, let's that's Arsenal done. We'll start wrapping this up now, people.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do our predictions first of all for Arsenal. What do you reckon, Gal? What are you going for?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm always overly optimistic,
yeah.
And I always predict a win. I think for this one, I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
Are you going for a draw?
Yeah.
I would take damage limitation. I wouldn't be displeased with a 1-0 loss. I don't want us to get hammered. I think we've got to try and keep it tight. Because football's all about momentum as well. So as important as it is to rest players, you don't want to go. If you have a look at our recent form, it ain't great.
No.
You don't want to go on a consistent run of losing fucking games. It's just not what we want. So we definitely don't want to get battered. So as much as we need to rest players, and as much as I would throw the fucking game if it was down to me. It's not logical. You can't do it. You can't do it. I think we could beat them. That's the thing. I think even with these players that we're looking at, I know they're not first team players, but look, they're all good players. They're if we have a couple of players, if Yarmolenko has a blinder, Ben Rama has a blinder, Vlasic all of a sudden clicks into gear, it could happen. Krau could turn into a player all of a sudden.
Yeah,
you don't know, do you? You don't know. So
no. And that's what will make it enjoyable if you pick something that's a little bit different, a little bit exciting. When we turned up at Chelsea last week, I read the team sheet, I looked at Masuaku, and I didn't read any of the rest of the team. So I was naturally in a bad mood as soon as I saw the team. But then when I went back and read it, I thought, oh, this could actually work. And it almost did.
Yeah, I know. It almost worked. Worked. But anyway, look, Gary, I think that's it. Let's try and keep it to an hour and a half tonight. I'm still bloody knackered after yesterday. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. That's really good numbers. I wasn't expecting that. I thought I thought everyone would be disappointed and they'd have had their fill of West Ham for a few days. But yeah, it's good for you to join us tonight. Thank you very much. Over to you, Gal.
Yeah, no, thanks for everybody. Loads of comments in the chat as usual. So. Listen, we're going to go and watch the Arsenal game on Sunday. If we can be asked when we get back, we might do a hangover show and talk about it, especially if there's something to talk about. If it's a bit bleak, we probably won't bother.
No,
other than that, we're going to look forward to next week. We're going to be doing our daily news shows, and we're doing some specials around the magnificent Frankfurt second leg next Thursday night. That is the big game.
That's the big one. That was always going to be the big game. Even if we'd have won this leg, it weren't all over. They're a good team. So, look, in some ways, I know you're going to close it. In some ways, this could be a blessing in disguise. If we'd have gone to Frankfurt with a 1-goal lead, David Moyes might have tried to shut up shop and see it out. So, this is different. We have got to go. We've got to win the game. So, it should be exciting. It should be an exciting game.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think this is possibly good because it means we need to be a bit adventurous when we go for it. Anyway, big game next week. Massive week for West Ham. It's going to happen. It's coming home. We're going to Seville. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Yeah, anyway, that's us done. Until next time, see you soon and come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.